Welcome to the Deadlifts and Pizza podcast, where we discuss no BS fitness and nutrition.
We're your hosts. I'm Laura.
And I'm Jamie.
Let's get into it.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up?
Nothing. How are you?
Good. Same old.
How was your trip to the city?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really awesome. Hamilton was amazing. I already told you that in text, but
yeah,
I was crying. It was so good. It was so good. I need you to watch it. I need you to know.
Okay. Is it still?
Really
it used
good.
to be on Disney. Is it still on Disney?
Oh, yeah.
App? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch it sometime.
Yeah.
You
have to give it a couple times.
I like musicals.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. You gotta I feel like it has to be absorbed, watched a couple times, because the whole kind of point in it, that almost all of the cast are people of color. It's diverse cast. Not everybody, but the point is it's diverse. Almost nobody's the same. And there's very much an intent in that is bringing the story of America to the people of America who don't necessarily look like all of those people did back then. Right. So it's the point of it is bringing it to everybody. And I didn't get that when I first watched it. So I was very confused, and I was looking at it going, man, they're really just trying to make,
what is this?
Yeah. And then, which was okay, I don't really necessarily need them all to be white, but we're not even trying to make them look like, and then George Washington came out, and he's this bald guy. And I turned to my house, I was like, okay, they could have at least put a wig on him. George Washington is a very noticeable, his hair is very,
it's a wig that he wore.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, George Washington's wig. So Donovan looked at him and he was like, you're not getting this at all. This is going totally over your head. I was like, it must be, because I'm very confused. And for some reason, very shortly after that, it kind of clicked, and I watched it again, and I just became obsessed. So.
And so that's why you like it, because of that?
No, that's not why I like it. That is a very cool element of it, but the music is unbelievable.
Okay.
I think that Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote it, I think he's a genius. It's just, the music is so catchy. It's so good. It's just, the story is so well written. I just love it. I love it so much.
I'll have to try it.
Cool. So yeah, it was awesome. And I was very impressed with all of because I saw Hamilton in San Antonio when it was off Broadway, I guess, the Broadway theater in San Antonio. There's a touring cast that came. And it was good, but I think my expectations were really skewed because I was in my mind still subconsciously comparing everybody to the original cast. So this time I tried really hard not to do that, but also one of the members was the original cast. So that was why we went, right? And I was, oh my God, and we totally fangirled at the end. I don't know if I told you, but me and Camila ran over to the stage door exit, and they come out and they sign your playbills and stuff. And there's just a horde of people. And I had Camila on my shoulders, and she's passing her playbill to the front to get it signed. But then she was able to weasel her way over to the other side. So we were able to get up right on the railing, and we got to meet 3 of the cast members and get signatures and selfies. And then that guy, that main cast member guy, Leslie Odom Jr., he wouldn't come out and sign, but he would come out and wave. So I have videos and pictures when he came out and waved. And it was very exciting. It's look. So it was totally worth it. And it was a lot of fun.
That's good.
But the whole rest of the cast was amazing too, was the point. They were so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What you got for me?
So yeah, I have a question for you. But first I'm going to talk about what I'm doing, and then I'll get to the question, because I have to, always can't just be a simple question. That's boring. So I want to talk about how I've said I can't really do zone 2 cardio because it makes me feel like crap, right?
Yeah.
And I started thinking about it. I'm like, does it though? I don't think it's zone 2 cardio that makes me feel like crap. I think it's just the repetitive movement of being on the treadmill, jogging, the jarring and the continuous repetitive movement, I think is actually the thing that bothers me. I don't think it's
the heart rate zone.
It's not the heart rate zone.
Interesting.
Right? I don't think, because that doesn't even make any sense, because it's not a very stressful zone to be in. So,
but it's fibromyalgia flare up feelings that you feel like it exacerbates. Yeah.
Yeah. So I honestly think it's just the jarring around. And I think if I got I don't have an exercise bike, but I could always try that and see if that would be different. And I bet you it would be, because or if I ran outside
or something.
I don't really like the elliptical. I will not do that for a continuous 30 minutes. I'll be bored out of my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like to generally don't like to just, I like to try to get better at things, so I kind of like jogging because I could try to get faster and whatever. But yeah, I don't think it's the best for me to do. So instead, I've decided to do, and I've done it a couple times now for a couple workouts, is do like a circuit in my shed of different exercises that will get my heart rate up enough, like so it'll be in zone 2, but it's not like high intensity, right? So I'm staying in that zone 2. So I did that today, like this morning, and it felt really good when I was done. I'm like, oh, that was nice
Interesting.
and relaxing. Like, this is what this feels like.
What exercises did you do?
So I did like a jump rope, but I have a jump rope, but it always gets tangled. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm doing it right, but it will always just wind up. So I'm not using the jump rope, but I'm pretending I'm jump roping, right? Okay. So I'll do that. And then I'll go. And the other reason I like this better than just being on the treadmill too is because that's boring, right? So just running for a certain amount of time is boring. And it's all in that, that sagittal plane of just like the same exact repetitive movement. Whereas this, I can go from different things and work on different things. And I like it better. I could do things in like different planes of motion, twisting, all of that. So
it's different movements. It's like this. Yeah.
So today I did jump rope, step ups, unweighted, carries. I would like to be able to use a sled, but there's snow on the ground.
There's snow on the ground?
Yeah, it's melting now.
Oh my gosh.
And it's muddy, and it's just that time of year where I can't really do that outside, right?
You have a sled?
No, but I'm going to have so this, not last weekend, the weekend before, it was nice out, right? And I've told you before how I pull Jules around the neighborhood in the wagon.
Oh yeah.
So I decided to pull them around the yard, like her and Caleb, and they were both of them in there. It's extremely heavy, especially on my grass, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm like pulling them around, and I did that, and then I did like sprint intervals of pushing it back and forth across my yard, and that was a workout and was fun.
That's a good one.
Yeah, they enjoyed it, and it felt like it was probably super similar to what a sled would be like, right?
Oh yeah.
And but the only problem was, I need like a minute and a half, 2 minute break in between each sprint, and Juliana's like freaking out
again,
because I'm not going, so she'll just scream for a minute and a half until I go again. I'm like, I'm not Superwoman, I can't do that.
Just wait.
Wait. But anyway, that was fun. But what was I saying? So I want Wayne to make me a sled out of because I could buy one, but I feel like it would tear up my yard with the metal and whatever. So I want to make one out of wood. And I found a video where it's like with landscape timbers on the bottom. So they're nice and wide. I don't think it would tear up my yard as much. So I'm going to have them make me one of those. And then cool. Yeah. And then the other thing to do in the wintertime is pull the kids around in like an actual sled in the snow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Zone 2.
So I don't have a sled that I can use right now. So what I do instead is I put a band on my rack, and then I'll put it around my waist.
You run against it, or something?
I run like so it has resistance. Yeah, it's not as good. And then I could go backwards, so it's like doing forward and backwards sled drags. And you could feel it. And sometimes I go like let it pull me back, and then I'll run forward again and let it pull me. Anyway, it's not as good as a sled, but it's a good alternative for now.
Yeah.
Right. So that was something else I did.
And you felt good.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Like, skiers, like you put like dumbbell, it's like I don't know what it's called, something skier, like dumbbell skiers. So you hold dumbbells in both hands. It's kind of like similar to a kettlebell swing, but your legs are gonna be closer together. Yeah. So that like stuff like that. So anyway, it keeps my heart rate in that zone. Feels good, and I like it. So I think I'm going to continue doing that and do it like 2 to 3 days a week. The other thing I add in sometimes, I didn't do that today, is kettlebell complexes, because that's a good way to keep your heart rate up, and you can easily go from one movement to another. I do the same thing with the landmine, so I'll do like landmine complexes and stuff. My question for you, now I'm getting to the question. So I'm not very elite with kettlebells, right? I don't use them very often, So how do you, because I think you are a little bit more experienced with kettlebells, right? And I think I think you've said that you've figured out how to do this, but how do you, like if I'm going to do a snatch, how do I not bang my wrist as I go to, pull that up.
It's hard to explain on a podcast because I have to only use my words.
Okay.
But when you swing, so if you imagine doing a kettlebell swing, well, first of all, before I even say what you do, I have to say that there is an amount, even if there's no banging at all, if you were to just stand with the kettlebell resting on your wrist, it hurts after a while.
Especially
without
the heavy,
banging.
especially when it's heavy, yeah.
Because the weight just pushing on the back of your wrist there, it's just, you're not used to it. And so the first couple of weeks, I want to say like definitely the first week and the second week as well, I spent a lot of time trying to get the form right because my wrist was hurting. But then I also realized my wrist is hurting just from holding it in general too, because that's just going to happen. And it wasn't my wrist. It was like right below my wrist. It's like the top of your forearm.
I have like a little bruise there. Yeah.
I was swollen. It was swollen, but it went away after like the first week. And now even when I accidentally bang my wrist, it doesn't hurt. It's like it builds up very quickly.
That's crazy. So it's kind of like a back squat where when you first do it, it hurts, but then after a while, you're just so used to it. And it is like
my forearms were literally, the top of them were bruised and swollen, like a little puffy. And part of it was because I was banging the thing and trying to figure out the right form, but part of it was just putting the weight there in the first place. And it just kind of went away. And something I did in the beginning too was I took we have these wrist straps for boxing that you're supposed to wrap your wrist in and then put your hands in the gloves. I was using those to wrap my wrist to provide padding. So I really recommend doing that when you get the form down. But then the way that so if you imagine doing a kettlebell swing, instead of letting your arm extend and have it come out in front of you, you kind of pull your elbow in. So you swing the kettlebell up, and then about halfway through, you kind of pull it in, and you kind of rotate your fist so that your wrist kind of meets the bell. Okay. That's like the secret to it. And so then when your wrist meets the bell, then you can like kind of get it up in position. And you have to, a lot of people hold the kettlebell like this, like with your fist backwards. So you have a bend in your wrist, and that's going to cause the kettlebell to like hit. But you have to like curve your fist in towards you a little bit so that there's more of a straight line. Yeah.
I'm looking at like I normally hold it like this, so it's not like this, but it's not like
you have to kind of tuck your fist in just a little bit to get it and to get that handle on it. But yeah, the snatch in particular is hard because you're going from a swing straight up overhead, so it's kind of hard to get that momentum. I was actually going to film a couple like tutorials on that this week because I had some people in my group that are struggling with kettlebells in general as well, which I predicted was going to happen when you release a new program, but. It's kind of tricky, but it does once you get it. The other thing that's really bothering me is like I have calluses from barbell lifting and stuff, but I'm never like have metal like twisting around on there. So like my hands are kind of hurting from like when I'm sweaty.
I didn't notice that, but I also don't do it every day. Like you're doing like all kettlebell stuff, right? So, I figured I had to like twist my arm around it and not let the kettlebell like go up and like try to find a way to meet it. I'm like trying to figure out the skill of doing it,
it's something of like you kind of bring your elbow in and you twist to meet it while bringing your elbow in, and then you kind of pop up. It's fun.
Takes practice, right?
It definitely does.
But I like when I'm not good at something because that means I can improve and get better.
Are you having fun with it?
I am. It's different too. I like doing different things. The kettlebell complexes are fun. It definitely keeps my heart rate in that zone too. As long as I don't go super heavy or I go kind of light. Yeah.
What's the heaviest kettlebell you have?
I only have 35 pounds.
That's pretty. I mean, that's pretty.
That's too heavy to do that.
To do a snatch.
I'm not gonna do that with that. Not when I'm like doing like continuous. Like if I was just going to do 3, take a rest, do 3, take a rest, I could probably do that. But like if I'm going from one exercise, no, that's too much.
I do those with a 12 kilogram. So what's that?
20. I don't know.
Like 20. Yeah, it's like 26.
26.
It's like 25 point something. Yeah. Okay. And my next one up from there is a 16 kilogram. Okay. So it's like almost 35. And then my next one up from that is, I don't know, but it's like 50 pounds.
Okay. I don't have one that heavy. I have like 13 pounds or something, then 18 pounds, then 20, whatever, 25, 26, whatever it is. And then 35.
Yeah. That's cool. Kettlebells are kind of fun.
Yeah, I only have doubles in the 2 smaller sizes. I don't have it in the heavier ones.
Yeah, I don't have doubles of anything. And that becomes kind of hard when you're looking for new, challenging. So I'm trying to think of like the next cycle of this kettlebell thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things I look up or people I follow online that's like specialize in kettlebells, a lot of the movements they have are dual kettlebells with the same weight.
Yeah.
And maybe people work out at the gym have that, but even some gyms they have like one of each.
Yeah.
So I think it's like really rare to have 2 of the same.
Okay. Yeah, I only have it in the smaller sizes. When I bought them, they're freaking expensive, so I bought them all at once. And I was like, I want doubles in some of the things, but I don't think I'll need doubles as often in the heavier weights, so I'll just get them in the lighter weights. And I don't use them super often, but now I wish I had one a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
Just one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like your kettlebell program?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
That sounds like fun. So you're doing like a compound exercise or something without a kettlebell first?
Yeah.
And then you're doing kettlebell stuff? Okay.
Yep, just 3 exercises too.
Just 3 exercises
just
total?
4 total. So 1 compound where I'm really focusing on strength, so that takes like half the time.
Yeah.
And then a circuit with 3 kettlebell exercises.
Okay.
Yeah. And I really like the concept of it.
Yeah.
For now. I mean, it's not great for everything. I have a client who is always struggling to build muscle, and we've been working a lot on really perfecting her program to make sure that gets the appropriate amount of volume. She also got hormonal stuff going on that she had to get taken care of. But she got excited about the bars and bells program, and she was like, I'm going to do it. And this is somebody that doesn't communicate with me very often. So I'll hear from her only once every few weeks when like more consistent communication would be very helpful. But she was just like, she started the program because, and I've talked about it. I've been like, if you want to build muscle, this isn't necessarily the best. I mean, you will notice change, but it's really great for maintenance. It's really great for conditioning. Like I've said all these on client calls, but she doesn't come to those. So she just started it because she was excited. And she texted me like a week. She was like, I did a couple of the exercises. I really don't like them. I don't think they're going to help me build muscle. I was like, they're not. I've talked about that. I've specifically said that in a lot of the scenarios.
It's going to help with like movement quality maybe, but
yeah, there's lots of things that will help with. And it could help you build muscle depending on what you're lacking, right? But in general, I wouldn't, advertise it as that.
Yeah, I wouldn't advertise it that. Sometimes you got to think of things like, especially if you're newer and your main goal is just building muscle right now, then no, I wouldn't do something like that. But like over time, I think things like that are actually, in a way, can help you build more muscle in the long run, just because, like I said, like movement quality, getting better at different movements and different things can actually have some translation.
Yeah, carryover. Yeah.
To 100%. Other things. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so it's like in the 6 weeks that you're doing this, are you going to build muscle? Well, yeah, maybe a little, because there's probably some muscles, especially in like your rotator cuff or in your core, like areas that you don't, really ever hit that much. So it's not going to be noticeable, shoulders are going to pop from it, or maybe if you're doing lots of overhead stuff or shoulder stuff, whatever. The point is, it's not, maybe not. You're definitely not going to lose muscle if you're doing an appropriate volume. Your cardio conditioning is probably going to get pretty good if you go through it pretty rapidly. Your balance, your stability, your core stability is all going to get better. But yeah, because also not lifting heavy into failure all of the time and giving yourself those breaks and your muscles those breaks. And then, like you said, movement quality, mobility, stability, all of that stuff's going to carry over to when you go into different blocks of training. Definitely. Yeah, in the future to help you be able to continue to make progress.
I really like what I'm doing right now. It feels good. It feels like the appropriate amount, right? So like I said, after I did my workout this morning, I'm like, that felt good. It didn't feel intense at all, because it wasn't, but it took me like 35 minutes to finish the cardio part of it. And I was like, that felt good. But I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday strength training, and doing like a big compound exercise with strength. Then I do power stuff in my warm-ups. I do a little bit of power, then I do that. Then I do like maybe one other like accessory compound exercise, so something like a Romanian deadlift, for example. And then I do a couple of supersets of more muscle building stuff, and then I'm done, and it's nice. And then
Sounds
in between,
exactly like all of my workouts for my entire life. That's exactly how I program.
Yeah, and then in between it's cardio, and then on Saturday I'm doing more power stuff with a little bit of cardio. Like that's where the kettlebell complexes will be.
Power, compound lift, accessory to compound lift, supersets.
This is perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. It's the perfect program. It really is. But it just over time, I'm like, I'm just tired of the structure of this.
Yeah,
Even though I know I'm hitting everything, I just need to do different things. And I am just really like, I have not gotten out of my absolute need to do like 30 to 45 minute workouts max. Like I'm going to go in and adjust all my programs in the app to be that way, and not by deleting things necessarily, because then there's the volume issue. Like what if you cut things out, are you not going to get volume? Like what if somebody really needs that extra volume? But I'm going to put like section off the ends of the exercises to be more like optional, and put in the notes like, without the optionals, this is really great for maintenance or muscle building for like, you know, depending on where you are, but it, you know, this many sets, but the optional, you definitely get the volume. So it's still there.
Yeah.
But with the structure of be like, we can get this done in 30 minutes and it can still be the same program.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it too, because it gives people like options based on their goals and whatever, and they know what the most important things to focus on, because certain people are limited with time. So it's like, okay, I know these are the most important, and if I have extra time, I can do this part.
But I'm really limited on time, and going in and adjusting all of those programs is not something I'm looking forward to doing.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that I want to do.
I wouldn't do it for like, don't worry about it. Sorry.
For some, you're thinking about the programs, like, well, don't do it for that one.
Yeah.
Like the power building.
Like,
and there's some that really
specific goal that you're trying to hit. Yeah.
Cool.
Do you have any other topics?
I have some Q&As, but don't you have some little topic questionnaire thing? Let's do that.
Okay, let's do that.
And then if we have time for Q's at the end, I'll do those. Okay,
these are random, right? And a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them I got through scrolling through Instagram, because that gives me so much material. For this purpose, sometimes I'll scroll to look for things and be like, that's outrageous. We have to talk about that, you know? So some of it's from that.
I just remembered a topic that I had last night. It's not a topic per se, but it was kind of like a hot take.
Okay.
Like there's been these times, it's exactly what's happening, where I'm scrolling through Instagram and I have this thought in my mind of like, you need to stop doing that because it's not going to work. And it's just not kind of like what you did, those hot take thing connected to football that we've done before.
Yeah.
Like Hot Take Tuesday or something. It's not necessarily controversial. It's just something that I really want to say out loud, and I was going to write them down. So maybe next week.
Okay. That sounds good. Okay. 1 through 7. Pick a number.
Okay. 4.
Okay. This wasn't from Instagram. So I'm going to just say what it is, and then I want you to give me your opinion. Okay. So ChatGPT? Yeah. ChatGPT. Okay. ChatGPT or AI bots, like how they give you different answers that aren't reliable, and people are using them for Google. Do you ever notice that? Like, I've asked it a question before, and the next time I ask it a different question, but this is like similar question, it'll give me a different answer, and I'll be like, but last time you said this, and then it'll be like, oh, I was wrong last time. This is actually the correct information.
Really?
It's like, how do I trust you, right? And people are using it for Google, and I don't actually think it's great for that purpose.
Do you have an example?
Okay, so this is what I used it for. This isn't fitness related, but this is where it told me a different answer. So I asked it to give me, and I know it's not going to be super accurate when I'm asking this. I'm just getting from different points of view. So I have a spreadsheet where I figured this stuff out, but I'm also asking this. So see if we're on the same ballpark kind of thing. So when we build our house on our property, I'm looking at different house plans, and like, I'll give it the house, the website with the house plan. And I'll be like, can you give me an estimate based on these things? Like, we're going to have a full basement. Wayne's going to do all this work, blah, blah, blah. Can you give me an estimate of the cost to build for this? Right. And it'll give me an answer. The next time I came back and asked it again in that same conversation, a different house that was like around the same size, but different, structure, whatever, different roof pitch, all that kind of thing. And it gave me a totally like way more expensive price. And I was like, why did you give me a more expensive price? It's almost the same size. Like, what is the reason? And the reason it gave me didn't make sense, because I was like, but I don't remember why. But I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And anyway, I told it like, well, why is it different? Well, I was wrong last time. That's way too cheap. I gave you the first time. It was too inexpensive. And I'm like, well, what the hell?
It really, and I don't know if it's just one of those things where the information is literally constantly being updated, like websites and things that it's gathering, and the algorithm is so maybe like based on the information it was pulling at that time, but it literally was more updated then maybe it,
it might not even be an updated. It might just be like different sites it's getting the information from, and each site is going to say something different.
Yeah, well, we're planning a road trip to Colorado after Christmas. And for me, this is very easy to figure out information. So I already know what the most direct route from San Antonio to Colorado Springs is. But I can see the things that are kind of like, well, what if I went this way or this way and like made it a little longer, but we stopped at these spots. So we're trying to decide if we should stop along the way or if we should just gun it and go right there. And so one of the things I've heard about, if you just go into New Mexico a little bit, is there's hot springs over there. So I was like, well, that'd be cool. So I looked up hot springs, and like you can click on the random ones and see what they're about. But I asked ChatGPT, I was like, hey, we're deciding, and I basically explained all that. We were thinking about stopping along the way. What would you suggest on the route? We're okay with going like an hour outside the route, but maybe not too far out. And it gave me this whole list of amazing suggestions. And I started looking them up on Google Maps, and they were way outside of the route. I mean, it was like this one in New Mexico was only 7.5 hours from San Antonio, and then another 4 to Colorado Springs. I was like, really? And I went and looked. I was like, no, that's 10 hours from San Antonio. And it was like, you're right. That might be a little bit too far. Try this instead. I was like, but that was a very big, I feel like that would have been easy to find. Why did it give me the wrong information?
Yeah, I guess my whole point to this is I don't think it's there yet. I'm not that impressed with it yet. Like, if you want it to be like, because eventually I believe that it will not fully replace us as a profession, because there's still things we'll be able to do better than it, but it will come close, right, for a less expensive price. But we're not there yet because it is inaccurate with a lot of things.
It really is inaccurate. I have multiple examples of when it gave me so at this point, honestly, my favorite way to use ChatGPT is to word things well. Like if you're trying to word something, it's pretty good at that.
That's what it's really good for.
Or like sometimes for pep talks, I'll be like, hey, I'm feeling this way about parenting. My daughter's doing these things. What's the best way? It's like excellent at being like, you are on the right track and you're such an amazing being. It compliments you. And then it's really good at like almost like therapy, kind of like putting stuff into like context. Like I really like it for that. But in terms of just straight up accuracy and factual information, it's really wrong a lot of times.
Yeah. And even the therapy, it could be wrong. You ever see that like that reel of like the person who just asked ChatGPT like, I should quit my job, and then it's like, good for you, like and then it's like so but I know what you're saying. For the most part it is good.
Very interesting.
All right, pick another number.
2.
How has as you've gotten older, we've kind of just touched on this a little bit.
I know. How has it evolved? I mean, definitely I 100% like the couple things that I 100% understand, and not in just a mental understanding, like understanding it on a brain level, but like on a heart level where you really like internalize your understanding. You know what I mean? There's like a difference between understanding it in your mind and then like fully internalizing it, is like what it feels like to lift weights and have the right muscles be activated. I know it sounds like kind of silly, but it takes a while. There's like a lot of intention that comes in the beginning, and then it just becomes so intuitive. And so there's never a question. Like I know exactly, you know what I mean? And then the like the general desire and how to like get stronger over time, and like how to like not necessarily being so stuck on always increasing the numbers, because if you're constantly increasing your deadlift numbers, I would have been like 600-pound deadlift by now, but understanding how it flows in season to season, but how then over literally like handfuls of years I can look back and compare the numbers. So if you're looking like training block to training block, they feel so minuscule. But if I then go back and compare like what I was deadlifting 5 years ago, like I have literal videos of hitting PRs like 5, 7, 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, that was like 185 pounds that I did like one time, and I was like posting it on Instagram. And so it's just very interesting. And then also just the thing that's evolved the most, which we've talked about, is the the idea, like the true understanding that it doesn't always have to look the same all the time, and it actually shouldn't. So I've been like stuck in this one pattern for so long. And just knowing that it can and should look a lot of different ways, and athleticism and power and all of that stuff is important as well. And being okay branching out of that.
You took that in a couple different ways. Like I didn't. Yeah. Okay. So I meant it in a slightly different way, and you kind of answered that at the end. But yeah. So for me, I think, and I haven't been training that long. But when I first started training, it was like very strength focused, right? Get as strong as possible. And I feel like I'm pretty strong now. So it's my training has evolved to like, I don't want to deadlift heavy every single week. I don't want to do that. Right. So it's evolved in that I focus more on like training like an athlete now. Right. I do cardio, power, and just feeling good and not worried as much about it's not maintenance because I'm still getting better at things, but it's a little less like
obsessed with this idea of constant growth.
Yeah.
Constant.
Yeah. It's not like it needs to be optimal and perfect. And this way it's a little bit more relaxed, right? And it's fun. And I just change it up every once in a while and I just try to get better at different things and things like that. But I think over time, your training will evolve to where you're not like, I need to build as much muscle as possible with every program and things like that. Or lift as much weight as possible.
I mean, I will say one way that it's really evolved is it really started out so aesthetic focused.
Yeah.
And to the point where it was like, oh my gosh, I need to make sure that I train and strength train and do my exercises while I'm on vacation. But because of this obsession with like, it was still tied into the like, oh no, I'm going to gain weight. When really it's not. You could overeat on a vacation and not lift a single thing and also not gain weight, or gain a little and then lose it. But it's like whether or not you do your bicep curls while you're on your cruise is not going to it's not going to make any difference.
Yeah. And I still think for people when they're first starting out, strength is a very good thing to focus on in the beginning because, like I've said before, it helps everything else, right? If you get stronger, everything else is going to get better. There's so much carryover to so many other things. But also because like once you're very strong, it stays. Like, it doesn't leave. Like you don't have to, unless you don't train it at all, but you don't have to do a ridiculous amount of strength work to continue to keep your strength or even get a little bit stronger. So I like that about it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's there and I have it now. Yeah. And I'm not going to lose it.
Yeah. Unless you never do anything, but you can do like a maintenance level of lifting and maintain it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of why I don't really care that much about, maybe I will again in another season of life, but I don't care that much about increasing my squat or my deadlift numbers. Like if I hit the same numbers that I've done in the past.
I'm already there. I'm in advanced / almost elite category.
Oh, maybe I should get back to it then because I'm not in the elite category yet.
Yeah. No, like the other day, and remember how I said I wanted to get my like more accessory strength exercises up, like so my hip thrust and my Romanian deadlift and all of that. So I did like my last program, I was working those up and it was only a couple weeks that I was doing that. My front squat's already in advance. My hip thrust is already there. My Romanian deadlift they're already there. I just don't ever push the numbers to those amounts, but I'm already there. And I'm like, okay, never mind. I'm already strong.
That makes sense. Yeah. But it kind of frees you up to be able to do other things. But sometimes it can make you feel like, what now? Like, wow.
It's fun though. I'm having fun with things. Like I'm doing those kettlebell complex stuff and cardio and things, but more fun cardio than just jogging.
Yeah.
All right. You want to pick another number?
Number 3.
Okay. So I've kind of talked about this a lot, like a while ago, but they've been continuously, and this is just one example of this, but coming up with pills that can like mimic exercise or give you the same benefits of exercise, right? So there's this pill that they've been trying to come out with called, or they're working on it, like clinical trials and things like that, called Azelaprag. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Okay.
And it basically mimics the effects of exercise. So actually I took a screenshot of what...
How?
of what Google says about it. Azelaprag is an orally available small molecule that mimics the effects of apelin, a peptide released during exercise. It targets the apelin receptor, which plays a role in energy metabolism and cardiovascular function. BioAge Lab is developing Azelaprag to treat metabolic diseases like obesity and muscle atrophy. So it's basically like it's like something you release when you exercise that, you know, has all these effects, all these positive effects on your body, and they're trying to develop it so that you don't have to exercise, and it's going to mimic the effects.
That's crazy.
Exercise, like build muscle, lose fat, that kind of thing.
It's kind of like what you just said about ChatGPT. Like, it's pretty cool, but it's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
There's no way. Something's going to come out and it will seem like, oh my gosh, but there's no way it's going to be as beneficial as exercise.
It's not going to be as beneficial in that, like, because there's so many other effects that it probably you won't get. Like, just doing hard things in general is good for you.
Yeah.
And it's taking that away. I don't like this at all. This makes me, like, very worried, because I don't want people to, I like the fact that building muscle is, you don't just wake up like that. You have to do something to earn it. And it's the one thing in life that, like, you really have to earn. No one can give it to you, right?
Yeah.
And just taking a pill and getting it, I don't like it. Like, that makes
but I
me
feel
like weary.
So it's like we have pills to fix dopamine and attention and anxiety, and we have all all these things, like, mentally, and then now we have like a shot like GLP-1, and then we're gonna have things that mimic exercise. So it's like whatever mental benefit working hard for things gives, we'll have a pill for that. Like, oh well, but it was so much better when you worked hard for something. Well, if you just take this medicine, you'll get that feeling of working hard for something.
Will it work that? I don't know if you can, though. Like, dude, that's because it's a mental thing, like
it won't be something that it'll be more like the reason why we want to work hard to achieve things is because when we don't work hard for achieve things, there's negative side effects. It will be a pill that corrects those negative side effects so that you don't have to work hard to achieve things to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but okay, how do I explain it? Like, okay, if I have all this muscle on my body, but I didn't earn it, it's not going to feel the same as if I earned it. And you can't mimic that.
Yeah,
you can't give it a pill.
You can't have a pill for that. Yeah, but
I don't think everyone's like me, though.
But imagine if, and this is obviously very hypothetical thinking, but imagine if literally everybody had the amount of muscle and strength that you had without working that hard for it. Would it even matter that you earned it? Like, does it even, like, will it make having earned it matter less over time to even somebody that values hard work? Like, will they just value it less because everybody kind of has it?
Yeah, it'll be valued less because everyone's just, like, no one
ever will value less to you as, like, I think your own personal value of, like, but I worked hard for it. Like, it will value a little less in your own mind.
It probably would.
And then so,
like, why even bother? Why even bother? It's never mind, I'm not going to say it.
We'll have pills and fixes for everything. My son was talking about living your whole life in a VR game. Like, what if VR got so amazing that you could develop these entire worlds, and I could even go to school on my VR game? Like, what if I could lay on the couch and interact with people and kids at school?
They're working on that, yeah.
And go to school and pay attention to the teacher and learn all these things, and I'm not moving, but my VR person's moving. So then it's like, yeah, we technically have the technological ability to be able to create that. But then what? What about your body? What it's wasting away on the couch?
It's won't, like, well, because now we have pills that will fix
that. We can fix everything. We can
Life
create.
Is going to be so boring.
What
so boring.
Heck? Yeah.
So I can't even like fathom, like, what is life going to be like for our children's children?
Yeah, I mean, I think that humans in general, it seems like it's great, all of these things that we're doing, but we will rebel internally.
There's always negative side effects of things that we don't even see coming for things.
We think we want it, but then we don't want it. Like, with ChatGPT first came out, it's like we think we want it, and now there's already like, wait, I don't know if I want all this, and like people are already turning to try to use less of it or try to have more human experience.
I don't use it as much as when it first came out.
Yeah. I think that there's this, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Wait a sec. Yeah. I don't know if I really. So I think I kind of trust humans in general. I think we will.
You do? I don't.
Or like, it's going to be
funny
like.
Because normally it's the opposite.
It's going to be like evolutionary too, because because people will just start killing themselves, honestly. Like, it'll be like, I don't know what's wrong, because literally nothing's wrong, because I have pills to cure everything, yet there's some deep satisfaction. Yeah. There's this emptiness, there's a deep satisfaction, and it'll be like evolutionary, and we will start like pushing away from things and finding ways, well, how can I find fulfillment? And it will be getting off of these things and going out in nature, going back to the things that we need as people, which is human interaction and nature and movement. And
what if, like, and this makes me very worried, because one of my favorite things in life is sports, right? What if they came out with pills to just make everybody like a superstar athlete? And it's like, what is the point of this now? Everybody is this elite.
Yeah, I can't. I thought you were going to go a different direction. I thought you were going to say, because something that I've thought about is that you can literally create, AI is going to get to the point where we don't even need people actors or people sports players. You can just create them digitally, and you can make them look so real that we're really watching. But people aren't going to want that, because you can't get behind somebody that's not real. You want a story, you want the connection. And that's why things like sports and things like TV and like acting will always, I think, be something that people pay money for, because we want that human experience and to get behind somebody that we know is real.
Definitely. Yeah. I don't think it'll fully replace that. No, I don't want to watch. I want to watch, because it's the part about sports that is so much fun to watch sometimes is like, wow, look at that catch that dude just made. That was amazing. How did he do that? That's, whatever. It's like, if a robot does it, I'm not going to be like, oh, wow, look at that. Like, who cares?
The reality, too, is if some pill or a shot or something that made you an elite athlete came out, what would happen? At first, it would be really sucky and confusing, and it would water everything down. But in time, what would happen is sports teams and stuff would start being built on natural people who had that natural talent, right? Who's not taking the pill? Who's not taking the shot?
It's like steroids, so they would have rules. Like, you cannot take this.
Yeah. And that would be the amazement. Like, no, these people do it without that.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, but I could do that too.
Yeah.
By taking this pill. I don't know. It would ruin it. It would totally ruin it. And I would be sad, because competition in sports is just, I love football. We need that. We need that in life.
It'll be okay, Laura.
It'll be.
I promise.
If that was taken away, I'd be so sad.
Yeah. It won't be taken away in your lifetime. You'll be fine.
Okay. I don't know. The stuff that's coming out. Okay, pick another number.
Number 7.
Why do you think so many women eat less and exercise more, but still aren't losing weight?
We already know the answer to this question. Oh my gosh, Laura. Lots of different reasons. I mean, one, because they're constantly under eating to the point where their metabolism has adapted. That could be a reason. One could be that they're not actually under eating, that they're actually eating, which could tie in. It could actually be the same thing. A lot of people will say, like, oh, if you're tracking and you think you're eating 1,100 calories, you might be tracking wrong. You're actually eating. And that is the case. Some people really are just eating way more calories than they think. But I don't think that's as common. I think that if somebody knows they're eating next to nothing, like they've done diets, they're like, no, but I'm not that person sitting around eating like, drinking a Coke and thinking I'm not, like, no, I'm actually barely eating any calories. Then that's more likely, like, you're just not giving your body the environment to, it's like just enough. You're right at you're right at what you're burning, right? So It's like 1,200 calories, but you're only burning 1,200 calories. So you're just not going to make any difference. You're not teaching your body anything. Now, obviously, if that person goes down to 800, 600 calories, they're going to lose weight but yeah, I think those are the two most likely reasons. I don't think it's hormones or cortisol. I mean, I think those things have an effect, but it's tied in with so many other things.
I think it's mostly the first one. I think this is the first thing you said. You think you're eating less than you are. I think it's possible that you like you said, you could be just the exact opposite, but I think most of the time people are eating more than they think they are. And if they go on a diet, sometimes they track, maybe they don't track every single day, or they don't track every single bite that they eat. And then they're like, oh, it was only like a bite of this or a bite of that. And those little bites add up. And by the end of the day, you're like at barely any calorie deficit at all, or you overeat on the weekends, or you don't count your alcohol, or, like, oh, I had a couple glasses of wine, not knowing that's a decent amount of calories at night, stuff like that. I think that's more of it. And when you're in that, like, if you're in a diet, quote unquote diet, you already feel like you're working hard just all day, just trying to avoid certain foods. It feels like you might be in that calorie deficit, but then you like screw it up with other little things, not knowing that it's like adding up over time.
I think in general, people don't, it logically, but they don't really understand the concept that you might be eating 1,200, 1,300 calories most days, but do you realize that you're only burning that amount? Like, do you realize how beneficial it would be to get your body to burn more? You know what I mean? Like, people are constantly focused on the other side of it. It's like, well, think about what you're teaching your body. You sit around at work all day. You're getting like 2,000 to 3,000 steps. Your strength training isn't really strength training because you got some little dumbbells in your basement and you're following a quick YouTube video and then using it as excuse to sit around. And then Friday, Saturday hits, like you said, and you're not counting your alcohol. You're eating a little bit more. But the cognitive restriction you experience during the week, you feel like that. You're like, but I'm still working so hard because I felt so guilty.
Trying to say. Thank you.
Yeah, you felt so guilty about the Friday, Saturday. And so you go back into hardcore Monday, but you don't realize that all of those calories actually average out to what you're burning anyway. So you're never going to make any progress because you're not putting any effort into actually getting that metabolic rate to go higher. And then therefore being able to have something that's a little bit more sustainable and realistic to do with your diet and your intake.
It's crazy because more recently I've been so hungry, extremely hungry. Not this week hasn't been that bad. I just changed my programming. I honestly think it could have been just my programming because I was doing the program I did before this. I was doing a lot of volume. Remember I said I switched it up, so I was doing higher volume. I was doing a lot of volume, so I was just probably needed it. I was hungry. I don't know how to explain the ravenous hunger I had. It was nonstop where I was like, food. I need food. I need to eat like every 5 seconds. I was eating at least 2,200 calories a day, but probably more.
Yeah.
And my weight is the same.
Yeah.
I did that for like 3 weeks straight and my weight is still, I'm still 125 pounds.
I was going to say the same thing, that I have been very, like, I couldn't be less interested in tracking, but I am also very interested in my nutrition profile. So I'm eating protein, fiber, vegetable. I mean, it's not like I'm off track in terms of nutrition. I'm making sure I'm looking at every meal going, I'm counting up 30 grams of protein, 40 grams of protein. Okay. We only had 3 meals today. So that's 90 grams of protein. Oh, I need a whole other 30 grams of protein. Like, I'm doing those little calculations in my head for protein and for fiber, but I'm not really thinking about calories. And I know that I'm eating more calories than I normally would. Yeah. My weight's actually gone down like 2 pounds. I sent my mom a picture of myself the other day and she was like, did you lose weight? I was like, I don't think so. Actually, maybe a little, I don't, but like, I'm not even paying attention to it. But it really, like, if 20 to 30% of the food I was eating was replaced with like highly processed food, I'd be gaining weight. But it's because I'm eating just whole foods. My diet is really good.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Not only am I hungry, I wasn't eating all whole foods. My diet was not as clean, quote unquote clean, as it would normally be.
What was it, like a protein bar? Like, still
a half of one a day.
Oh, Laura, what was it? Sweetened Greek yogurt? Oh heavens!
No, I never have sweet. I always add my own. If I'm gonna, I might add a little maple syrup.
So what is it when you even say it wasn't as clean as usual? What are you talking about?
I'm trying to think. Okay, so you know what it is? It's not even that. It's not even that any of the food that I'm eating is that horrible. It's just that there's less vegetables than I would normally eat for that many calories. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm still eating vegetables, by the way. It's still probably like 6 servings of vegetables.
Oh yeah,
but it's not. It's not like for the amount of calories I'm eating, I should be eating. Yeah, proportionally, I should be eating more. So there's a lot of extra stuff of like, I don't know. popcorn. And I did have a couple pieces of Halloween candy, but I don't overeat that, so it's not that. I'm trying to think of what it really is that I feel like, man, I've been eating horribly. I made spaghetti sauce the one time, and I had lots of spaghetti every day. So there's that.
I did. So at our other house, we have a giant pecan tree, and the pecans are just all over I've been like collecting bags of pecans, and they're straight up in the shell. So it's quite a bit of work to get the pecan out. So I'll just do like throughout the week, I'll just for like 20 minutes at a time stand there and pick pecans and put them in a container. And I've been wanting to use them. So I made banana bread with pecans. I made stuffed acorn squash last night with like pecans and apples in the turkey. And I've just, and in my mind, like there's that old voice of me going, nuts are really high calorie. Nuts are really high fat. Be careful with all the nuts. And I just go, fuck you, voice, because these are from my pecan tree and it's fall. And that's what you do. And it's a whole food. And it's not like I'm sitting here snacking on them. I'm literally like mixing them into things. And even the banana bread, like when you stop having that voice, or that voice that tells you shouldn't eat things, when it becomes so quiet in the back of your mind, like I barely ate any of that banana bread, whereas old me would have been constantly like, avoid it, don't eat it, it's high calorie, and then I would have eaten half the loaf because of that. But when I stopped doing that, I'm like, have as much as you want, and then all of a sudden it's gone. I'm like, what? I got like a half a piece of that because everybody else ate it because I forgot it existed because I wasn't obsessed with it.
Exactly. Oh, surprising. I know. You just reminded me. The one thing I was eating a lot of was bagels. There it is. Bagels, because my client
the New York
got
bagels,
me the bagels. But just like you said, I allowed myself to eat them. Now I only have them on Sundays. I'm like, I'll just have a bagel for breakfast on Sunday because I'm so bageled out. I don't want it every day.
Don't really know. I did get really good bagels in Connecticut because a lot of the stuff from New York they only live an hour over the border. Yeah. And so my cousins got some New York bagels in the morning on the last day we were there. And they were so freaking good. You know how when the bagel, you can tell the dough's been twisted? It's like the whole bagel's twisted. It's like it looks like the dough. It looks like how they made it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yep.
And then you cut it open and the fluff. Oh my God, I'm drooling thinking about it. I would kill for another. I had like a bagel and a half. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really good. All right, next one.
All right, one more, I think.
How many did I say already? How many numbers do I have left? I don't think I said one. Let's do number one.
Number one? Okay, that's a good one. Okay. At least I think it is. Okay. This is one of the ones I saw on Instagram. All right, do you remember that guy that put his children on stage to show their abs instead of like, hey, I wanted them to get fit, so we did a push-up challenge or see how fast you could run a mile, or no, they have to have abs. Remember that guy?
My daughters have abs. There's no reason you shouldn't. Get your act together. 12-year-old daughter.
Abs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that guy. So I saw a clip of him on Instagram, and it just made me laugh because I'm like, this is totally something this guy would say. And I think he's like a business coach or something, right?
Yeah,
like someone who's trying to get entrepreneurs to make more money type of person, right? So that's who he's speaking to. All right. And he was talking about, he's like, I don't know why this makes me laugh so much. I think it's just the way he said it. And just, it's not what he said. It's the way he said it. And he was like, you don't need to spend 3 hours with your kids, all right? 20 minutes is good enough. If you give them 20 minutes of undivided attention where you tickle them and play with them, that's all they want. After that, they're done with you and they want to go do their own thing. And if you're using, like, basically he was telling people that their excuse of spending too much, they want to spend time with their kids. You don't need to spend time with your kids. You just need to give them 20 minutes. 20 minutes a day, Jamie, that's it. And they're good as long as it's undivided and you're not on your phone. And that was part of his point too, which I agree with, like giving them actual attention instead of being distracted on your phone. I get that. Like that's better than 3 hours of distracted time where you're actually giving them 20 minutes of high quality time. But it sounds like you're just checking it off the list. Like 20 minutes with my kids, workout done, okay. Like, dude,
Yeah. I mean, I will say if people who make the excuse of like, I can't go to the gym and all this stuff because my family, but most of the time they're home, they're rushing around cleaning, they're being snippy with their kids because they're, whatever. And then they're making dinner and they're trying to do all the things. If they didn't do all the things and went to the gym and worked out and then sat down and had a eye to eye contact conversation about the kid's day for 15 minutes, that would be more impactful than
it would be. Exactly.
I think that's probably his point, but he did not say it.
He did not deliver it the correct way. And as he's talking, just the way he talks is so intense. The way he talks the whole time, like after he said that, I was thinking, because the part where he's like, your kids don't want to spend more than 20 minutes with you. I'm like, probably your kids.
Exactly. I was thinking that same thing. I was like, my kids, if I give them 15 minutes of undivided attention, it's hard to cut them off because they're like, oh my God, you're my best friend for the day. And I want to tell you about more stuff. And then before bed, they're like, let me tell you about even more things, which I love. That's a great thing. But yeah, your kids, because you're making them have abs and show them on stage. I wouldn't want to spend time with you either.
They don't like you, dude.
Yeah.
And if they're teenagers, and I know his kids are a little younger because I think that they were like 8 and 12. I don't know.
No, but like once they get 12 and one was like almost a teenager, I think. Maybe like 13 or 14.
Well, if they're that age, then it makes sense. Like once they get to be teenagers, they don't want. But he's talking about tickling them and stuff. I think they just talk about younger kids.
Right.
I don't think unless he tickles his like a 15-year-old. Anyway, that just made me laugh because I'm like, this guy is just got. Yeah, does he really believe these things?
Did you see? You like Peter Attia, right?
I do a little bit. I don't know him like too well.
Oh, well, he's. I feel like I'm seeing him everywhere now because he did a CNN like interview.
Okay,
and it was excellent. And one of the CNN reporter stuff. It's like one of those things where they spend all day. It almost feels like a 60 Minutes episode. Yeah, and they took her to the gym, and he took her on a hike, and they talked about things. And I mean, he hit every nail on every single head. Everything he was saying. I was even sitting there with my husband, and I'm kind of listening to everything he's saying. And I'm like, yep, oh yeah, yep, absolutely. And then Don was turning to me and he's like, oh my God, did you know this? I'm like, shut up. Of course. I talk about this every day. Just like,
yeah, what I like about him is he's like, talks about longevity and health and all of that stuff. And,
totally.
Yeah.
He was really talking about this main thing was like this, I don't remember what he called it, but it was this final decade. He said after 75, there's a sharp downhill and you get this last 10 to 15 years. And he's become kind of obsessed with improving the quality of that decade or those 10 to 15 years. And he's like, there's a noticeable like extreme downhill at 75. And how can we make that more of like a flat line and improve those years?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting.
He talks about, because there's lifespan and healthspan. He talks about healthspan.
Yeah.
Like, not just living longer, but living healthier longer.
Right. Because as a woman said, so are we talking about like helping people live longer than those 10 to 15? He was like, no, not necessarily. Just exactly what you said. Like improving the quality of those 10 to 15 years. Because it doesn't have to look how it looks for most people.
Because that's what I want. Yeah. Because people just think things are inevitable. As they get older, this is going to happen. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. Of course, you're not going to be the same as you were when you were 20, when you're 70. But you can slow down the progression of uncomfortable pain and
immobility and fear of falling. And of course there's some things you can't, that are out of control. Right.
Yeah. Sometimes things just happen.
But anyway, did we get to them all?
Probably not. Of them. Oh, I had one more point on that one too. It was, I was going to say too, I think the other extreme is also wrong, where it's like, you need to spend this amount of time. You need to spend at least 3 hours with your kids every day. Otherwise, you're a horrible parent and you shouldn't be doing all these other things. It's always balance, right? It's always finding the right balance. But I don't think it should be like something you check off your list of like, I spent 20 minutes with them. I'm good. Now I can go off and make money, because that's what's really important. Making as much money as humanly possible. Then I will be fulfilled.
Yep. I agreed.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please leave us a review, leave us a comment, share it with a friend or on your social media. We would appreciate it so much. And we will see you next week.
Bye.